Welcome back to News and Views on Salam Media. We're going to be turning our attention now to a somewhat heartbreaking and urgent story coming out of the KwaZulu-Natal Midlands, where a raging veld fire in the Boston area, just outside Howick, has resulted in the tragic loss of 6 brave firefighters. These individuals lost their lives while heroically battling the blaze that continues to devastate the region. And joining us to discuss this incident and the ongoing efforts to control the fire is Siyabonga Hlatshwayo of the KwaZulu-Natal South African Red Cross Society. He's joining us via telephone. Siyabonga, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Salam Media.
Good morning to you and the listeners at home. Thank you for having us.
I think first and foremost, if you can give us the current status of the fire and the ongoing efforts to bring it under control. I know in the last few days the situation was really critical, but where are we right now as we speak?
Yes, fortunately, fires have been contained, and fortunately, we are also not seeing more fires, runaway fires. In many fields, but we wish to extend condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones.
And one of the things that a lot of people say attributed to just how strong the fire was the terrain. If you can just maybe describe for us how has this impacted firefighting and rescue efforts, looking at the terrain itself and how difficult it was to navigate for firefighters, which ultimately saw the heartbreaking perish of those 6 brave firefighters.
Well, indeed, South African Weather Service had issued warnings with regards to strong winds and possibilities of runaway fires. So, and eventually we saw it really happening with very strong winds, and the firefighters are really trying hard to control the fire. But the fire kept on changing directions. Due to the wind that was also blowing in different directions. So that is how they were also even ended up being affected and we ended up seeing fatalities. So it was due to the pressure of the wind as well as the wind changing direction, which was also changing the direction of the fire as well.
What are the preliminary investigations telling us? What was the cause of the fire and have the losses been quantified yet?
Well, the investigations are still ongoing, and reports will be shared shortly. Even today, the minister is going to be visiting the site, so I think we'll be getting more reports and more clarity as to what really happened.
And just going forward, I know that area has been cordoned off. I think it has been described as a disaster zone for the people living in the area, people that are planning to travel in the area. What measures would you like to share with them to make sure that those that are in the area, their stay remains a safe one, and those that are making their way to the area are also not affected by the aftermath of that place?
Well, it is for continue to be cautious because as we are still in winter, it's still windy and it's still very dry. People not to play with fire in any way. Children must be watched also not to play with fire. And also because we once had a report about that, there are suspicions that it was poachers that actually started the fire because they use the fire sometimes when they want to direct the animals to a certain direction so that they can be able to hunt them. So we are appealing with them. They are also putting lives at stake as well as property at stake as well.
And just lastly, before I let you go, your response to this fire as the Red Cross, what efforts have you put into place to make sure that those that have been affected by the fire get assistance, and ultimately, their situations are, at least put at ease, because a lot of people have lost their homes, have lost their belongings, in, literally, a short space of time. I'm sure there's a lot of efforts that the South African Red Cross Society is currently undergoing in that region.
Yes, definitely. As we speak, we are currently stretched throughout all the province, as there were a number of incidents that had also taken place just before the recent ones. We saw just on Sunday in Durban, there was also another fire incident that took a life and also left more than 200 families homeless. So we've been providing hot meals, we have distributed blankets, mattresses, just so that they are warm as they are still in the evacuation shelters. We are also going to be providing psychosocial support for the people that are affected. We are also having services where we are actually assisting with restoration of family links. We are ensuring that they are able to communicate with their loved ones, inform their loved ones that they are well. If they need assistance, they can be able to call for assistance. We are also mobilizing more support as we are being guided by the disaster management centers, as well as the reports that are coming that are actually identifying the needs that are on the ground.
I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, Siyabonga, and really, really appreciate your efforts down in the KZN region. I'm sure you're really stressed because the previous weeks it was the floods, and now you have the fires. I'm sure it's been really, really difficult navigating all of these disasters that are occurring in the area.
Yes, indeed. The teams are quite exhausted. It's been a long run. You'd recall that as from December last year, KZN has since been affected by heavy rains and floods, and we've seen quite of mortality, of fatalities. We've since been on the ground. We've since been working, trying by all means to ease the situation, trying by all means to provide relief to those that are affected. So, but we are also trying to take lessons from the previous incidents so that we are able to plan better for the future, to be also better established ourselves and be able to respond even effectively.
We're going to leave it there, Siyabonga. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to take a quick break, but then when we come back, we're going to be having our hashtag Fired Up segment with Imran Chunar, the CEO of Africa Muslims Agency. Today's topic is, what's the definition of insanity? A really interesting topic that I think would be, interesting to listen to. Definition of insanity. We'll get the definition after this with Hafiz Imran Chunar, CEO of Africa Muslims Agency.